All right. All right. All right, guys. We have a new week. Bitcoin closing a weekly bullish engulfing candle. Very nice. Very nice close. Probably our highest weekly candle body close ever for Bitcoin. I believe that's accurate. Why does this look all weird on the chart? Anyways, yeah, very nice. They pushed us through the range here going into the close. We made the highest daily candle body close we've ever seen on Bitcoin by a small margin, but the highest Bitcoin candle close on the daily time frame that we've ever seen. Pretty cool stuff. And I suppose it's also the highest weekly candle body close as well, right? We're not including these wicks. Candle body close with a nice long tail wick to the upside. Very nice. Man, really not really anything bad to say about what Bitcoin's doing right now. Okay. S&P giving us a little bit of a gap down here with the downgrade, US downgrading stocks. So we're the S&P probably going to pull back a bit. I mean, it's gone on quite a run too. So when they deploy that kind of news, I mean, that is big news, right? It is sort of big news for stocks to get downgraded like that. But yep, we're still in an uptrend. We could even come back down to 58.43 and still be in an uptrend. High time frames on the S&P still look good. Yeah, let's go fill some gaps, boys. I guess overbought right at a critical spot here for a reversal, right into this resistance level here, and then they deploy the downgrade news after the market closes, of course. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the market's probably going to react to that in some capacity. Like I said, we could see a move down to 58.41s if we really start taking out this uptrending support that we have, and then we can talk about this neckline here. But until then, I think this is our short-term target, 58.34s on the S&P. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sure the Nasdaq probably in a similar boat as the S&P, probably a bit overbought, extended like that, and also down 0.5% here. Yeah, I mean, we're ways off some of these moving averages too. So like people are taking profit that are trading futures. Yeah, so come back down into these moving averages here. Yeah, like 20,760 region. Yeah, we'll check the DXY. So yeah, I move back into this moving average. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart. The daily is, probably maybe back to support here, 20,800 region. Yeah, why not? Why not come back down and test this support after breaking this level? So, and then maybe we get a pivot and run higher. Okay. Dude, they're gonna deploy bad news when they want the markets to pull back too. So, high time frame on the stock market doesn't look bad. Actually, looks really, really bullish. So, short-term move down. Probably nothing to really worry about long-term here on the weekly and 2-week basis. Right. Our weekly momentum still looking nice. Our 2-week momentum pretty much giving us a buy signal with hidden bullish divergence on the 2-week chart. That looks pretty good. Anyways, yeah, we'll see how this pans out, but this doesn't look bad. It looks fine. All right. And look at the DXY. DXY gapping down. DXY gapping down a bit, but really just kind of holding above this 100.34 region. The 200-week moving average is acting as our support right here. We don't typically deviate too much below it very often. So the last time we really were below it was like 2008. The dollar was just in a major downtrend here until it flipped bullish long term. So, I guess technically you could say that the dollar is still holding above its 200-week moving average on the 2-week chart. We could see the dollar, maybe if it does, maybe catch some bids, maybe back up to 102s, 103s region. That would actually take us back into this range. I would still say the dollar is not so bullish, though. It's like high time frames don't look good. The dollar. If you go to like your 6-month chart here, I know this is a lot of data, but when you really zoom out on this just does not look very good for the dollar. You got 6-month bearish divergence that's materializing here, and this is going to continue to roll over the coming months and years. Right, it's a 6-month time frame, so this could take some time to play out, but definitely long-term lower on the index for sure. Okay, that's pretty much it. Gold probably catching a bid with the dollar coming down. Not really too surprised there. Gold is very strong right now. Very strong, holding its daily 50-day moving average here, just bouncing off of it. Very nice uptrend for gold right now. Probably got a bit of hidden bullish divergence here on the daily, which you do clearly see that. You got your daily momentum kind of shifting back to the upside here. You probably got a 12-hour buy signal. Yeah, BTC is a better trade than gold because its market cap is like 8 or 9x less than gold. So, yeah, and man, what a candle there for Bitcoin. Not really caring about what the indices are doing right now. Okay. That means to me that the indices are fine. If Bitcoin was really, if there was really an issue with liquidity and the stock markets were actually going to crash or collapse, Bitcoin wouldn't be doing this stuff right now. It would be actually going down. Okay. So not really too concerned about the indices. They're going to pull back a bit. They're going to go sideways a bit. And actually them downgrading stocks might even be the shift, people shifting capital into crypto because they're not stocks, they're commodities. So it's different. It's a different asset class, right? Bitcoin's a completely different asset class than stocks. So that actually could be green lighting people to make the roll. All right. And that's really interesting. I didn't actually think about that, but now that kind of makes some sense. Okay. Not that I would really want to be buying Bitcoin here, but obviously people are. That means they think that Bitcoin is still of value here. All right. Even though it's trading, I would say, at a premium from its bottom. Anyways, cool. Bitcoin looks good. Looks like it's very close to breaking its all-time high. Right. So they want to be taking risk. The economy is quite screwed. Yes. It's been quite screwed though since I would say 2020 or even prior 2019. Because if you look at the ISM, look at the business cycles. I mean, when you look at this chart, you could just say that the whole economy is in bear market because we're an ISM of 48.7. All All right. This was COVID, when basically everything just shut down and stopped. So there was no business at all happening. So this needs to, in my opinion, this needs to tick up. And I think that this will tick up once they start printing money, even though we know that they are printing money. Because if you look at US global liquidity on the chart and the M2 supply and the global liquidity chart, you know that they've been printing money globally. So they're going to sit here and tell you that they're not printing money or that we're in a QT environment. Then why is this chart going up? Do you guys know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so here's global liquidity. We're going to look at US net liquidity, which is just specifically with the US. And you can see that this is uptrending right now. Okay. It's trending up. It's not blowing out like US global liquidity, which is like a summation of every central bank around the globe, but this is the US. So you can see that this is starting to trend back up. And once we start breaking this neckline, I think that's when they're going to be like, oh, well, we're going to have to ease the markets, right? And then we're probably going to see this end up breaking this level here. And lots of liquidity probably pours in to the markets. That's what it looks like. All right. And that's pretty much it. Yep. Yeah, more liquidity, more money, which is more essentially more inflation. Which is why the Fed has been like, we're not going to, money print or cut rates until inflation's under control. But true inflation is really like 7 or 8% a year. I mean, and in some places probably more. It just depends where you're living. Okay. Like, it's definitely more because like the NASDAQ last year was up like 40 something percent. And gold this year is up how much? Gold is really the true measure of inflation. Okay. So gold this year, just this year, from January of 2024, we're going to look at it right now. January of 2024 is up 50%, or is up 62% as of today. It was up as high as 75%. Okay. In a year. That's insane growth for gold. This, in my opinion, is China buying gold, or some major central banks buying gold, because they know there's a problem. There's a problem. All right. So, how's your bear market in April working out there, Mr. Big? How's that playing out, buddy? You just come on my stream to talk shit. Good stuff, man. Got nothing else better to do in your life? Huh? Yeah. Silence is everything. We like silence. We like silence. It's good. Mr. Big talking shit about my my video that I put out earlier today about a $4 or $5 trillion market that we're probably going to see here in the next few months, and that'll probably be a local top. Yep. That's probably going to happen. Yep, he could F off. I hope that he just never comes back to my streams. There's no point in being here. He's just trying to get free information from me and doesn't really deserve it. So yeah, he should leave. It's all good, man. There's always gonna be haters, bro. I don't get it perfect either. I'm not a perfect guy. Not a perfect guy. See what NVAX does this week, dude. I think this thing's about to blow out. If not this week, probably next. I mean, it should actually be this week. Looks like. Weekly bullish engulfing candle. Yeah, we can look at ETH. Not the best close for ETH on the week. That doji right there, that smack dab doji. But we did tag this Fibonacci level here, which is the golden mean ratio. I mean, what do you want, dude? This thing just went up like 100% off its low. So yeah, just kind of, going to probably range between these levels here. If Bitcoin continues to push, then, ETH will probably hold this range, I would say. Yeah, a nice break, man. 2300s look good. 2300s, if we get down there, that's probably going to act as a major level of support. Looks like. I mean, your long-term chart here on ETH is pretty solid. Like, yeah, this fake break out of the structure, and then they ripped it back in. It's a nice pennant, man. It's a very nice pennant. And if you do end up breaking, out of the pennant, it's a 343% measured move. Yeah, it kind of does point to about October on a break. Okay, it doesn't mean it's gonna do the entire move. Okay, it might only end up capturing about half the move, and that's fine. That takes you to about that $7,000 level. No, it's not gonna take 5 years to break out, dude. But that'd probably be the swing target once you did break out of here. Okay. But yeah, we could do something like this where we maybe come back down to retest and then kind of work our way up, type of thing. Something like that. Because, I think the yeah, man, the 2-week chart is really telling you some momentum about to come into this asset, right? Triple bullish divergence on the 2-week time frame, stochastic RSI. Your 3-week here is probably also ticking up. So you got a weekly buy signal, 2-week, about to give you a buy signal 3 week, about to give you a buy signal monthly, also crossing up. I mean, dude, there's buy signals all over this high time frame chart. I'm not really too worried about it here over the course of the next 6 months. It should be pretty solid if that all plays out. So it's really all about the longer term outlook, guys. Like, stop trying to day trade this stuff. I think it's not worth your time unless you got an automated system or something, or you're really good on small time frames and you can really, maneuver that. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't do it very often. I only do it when I really see an optimal opportunity to do it. I'm more of a longer term swing trader. That's just my approach. It mitigates my volatility. It mitigates my risk. And that's just how I see things. I'm not really a good day trader. I don't like to day trade if I don't need to do it. Sometimes I do need to do it if there's really an opportunity screaming at me. Like, I did take a trade on NVAX, for example. I'll look at Bitcoin dominance in a second. Again, like, it's the same setup here. You got a flag. It came back down to gap fill. We actually took this trade last year, the same time before this actually blew out. Now, I don't expect a candle like that when I take a trade like this, okay? I am projecting a move back to the top of the wedge, which is about $15, all right? Because typically when you get a wedge break, you go test the top of the wedge, just like you did here. You actually went to pretty much the top of this wedge is what you did. You wicked to it. So it looks pretty good. All right. Your 2 week time frame just ticked up, gave you a 2 week buy signal. So these 2 week signals, when you get them, the last time you got a 2 week buy signal was in February of 2024. And it took months. It took 4 months to play out on the momentum waves. Okay. It doesn't mean that this time it's going to take 4 months, but I'm just saying, like, you also have 2 week RSI bullish divergence here. Like, you can clearly see a momentum shift happening. Bitcoin dominance, we'll take a look at it. Bitcoin dominance still looks like it's in its upsloping channel. It hasn't broke down yet. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance still looks like it looks like it just back tested this break at 62%. Okay. Your monthly time frame on Bitcoin dominance is really up there. It's at 78 on the RSI. No bearish divergence on it because there's not enough data for the monthly chart, but you can see pretty clearly that we're probably close to this reversing here very shortly, is what I would say. And your 3 week momentum is starting to tick down, right? You have now 3 week bearish divergence on your momentum. Your 2 week, okay, your 2 week is, getting that bounce. So you're probably going to make a lower high somewhere up here. All right. And so once this is done materializing, I think, we will get this alt season. But you really need to start breaking this trend. That's it. The top of your range is around 70 to 71% if we get there. Okay. But yeah, you can even see the bearish divergence here on the RSI too. Okay. It's there. higher high on momentum, or higher high on Bitcoin dominance, lower high on RSI. So, and yeah, your weekly did tick down here as well, but all you've done was put in a higher low so far. All right. That's it. Yeah, so we've done a 78.6% retracement from our peak in December of 2020 to our low put in here basically around September of 2022, which was basically Bitcoin's bottom, October, I think was. Yep. So 78.6% retracement from swing high to low. It does kind of look like double bottom stuff on the high time frame for Bitcoin dominance. But this isn't like, you know, an ass. It's not like a check what? Silver? Yeah, we can check silver. I feel like I have this charted on another chart somewhere, but yeah, this looks like your long-term trend line. You had a bit of a deviation below there. And right now, this is like your trend, your uptrend that you're in. So yeah, silver doesn't really look the best on the monthly chart. Looks like it's just consolidating here. That's really all it looks like it's doing. It's just chopping here. Hasn't really made new highs on price. Kind of just trending up. I think it's fine until you lose that trend line. But if it holds that trend line, then you just stay in this uptrend and chop sideways until eventually you get to a point where you break, you know, 36 bucks, right? Like this area here, you tagged it, didn't break it. That's it. Just looks like some sideways action on silver. Your low time frames, if you're day trading this stuff, like your 4-hour chart here, looks good. You got a bit of 4-hour bullish divergence here off this low, and your MACD is about to flip up. So 4-hour looks good. You could maybe come back up to test, you know, 3370s. Yeah, well, okay, so your 4-hour chart is important then, because your 2-minute time frame is going to react off that 4-hour for sure. So it looks like you probably want to be long silver here and to the top of the range is what I would say. And yeah, your 12-hour momentum is also ticking back up. You also have 12-hour bullish divergence. Well, that looks good, right? Hold this range low, and then you could you're basically making higher lows than this low. So that is showing, more buyers and sellers than previously. So that looks good. There's nothing, I wouldn't say anything bad about that. That looks great, actually. Looks like a good trade to take. Risk maybe, I don't know if there's really that big of an RR there, but yeah, it looks good though. There's some divergence that could play out to send the price higher, especially if gold's catching a bid, then silver should catch a bid with it. All right. All right. So that basically covers, I would say, most of the assets. Here we're gonna look at oil real quick. Oil is pretty wrecked. Oil's pretty wrecked. Dude, why is TradingView so slow? I do see a bit of a wedge forming on oil, though. Okay, not that anyone really trades oil, but if you do, your monthly momentum waves are entering the buy zone on oil. Yeah, futures I think are getting pretty wrecked right now. Yeah, I mean it's down not even 1%. It's not that big of a deal, dude. After the massive rally it just had, like what do you want? Just up only, man. It's up fucking 30. It's up 30%, dude, in the last month and a half. The Nasdaq, 30%, dude, 30%. That's huge. SPY futures are down 0.67%. Give me an effing break. And SPY is up 22.5%. Strax. Okay, let's take a look at Strax. Well, your monthly bullish engulfing candle is still active, so that's good, I guess. Yeah, you really want to be making closes above that level there. This level here, 5.2, basically kind of where you're at. You really do want to start making closures above that to test the top of the range. All right. I would say that's really it for strat. You want, like I said, you want this to hold this level here. This is the major support level that it's sitting on right now. All right. With enough buying here, enough support here, you could get to the top of the range. All right. And your weekly momentum doesn't really look the best. If this is going to cross down, that's not good. And your 3-day, your 2-day, your daily, it's probably getting oversold or near oversold. So hopefully this thing just catches a bid here, I would say. I mean, your daily momentum is not suggesting that, though. Your daily momentum doesn't look very good right this very moment. That can change rather quickly. I think it's fine as long as it's holding this level here. You know, as soon as you start really breaking this level, then we can talk about revisiting, 4 cents or something. Yeah, we'll check out SUI. Sure. SUI looking good above its daily 200 moving average. This beautiful wedge that we called out here in April broke out, back tested, and got a nice bounce off this daily 200. Kind of a flag pattern here. And yesterday's close was a bullish engulfing. You really need to start looking to take out 4.13. I think that this is fine. Let's see how this weekly closed, though. Yeah, kind of a not a doji, but like an indecision weekly close. But I think ultimately this resolves to its all-time high. After you get a wedge break, you usually resolve to the all-time high eventually. You could consolidate a bit more, and then eventually do something like that. Okay. I think you're going to see a bit of drawdown here, though, right? Tagged outside your weekly Bollinger. Your weekly momentum still looks okay, though. No cross down, just nice separation. Yeah, I saw. I did see that we did that. Bitcoin futures are up 2%. And Bitcoin is whatever, 105.8. It's fine. We did have a weekly band deviation. We didn't get a volatility spike though, like we did in November like that. But we could be looking at some drawdown here if it doesn't actually end up breaking that. But our weekly is long, our 2-week closed long. I think it's probably okay. It obviously becomes higher risk at the top of a range, of course. Your 2-week momentum just crossed up. That 2-week bullish divergence is now producing your first level of positive momentum you've seen since February. I think that's good. Looks good. I blame Bobby. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we might see a bit of volatility here with the S&P kind of, pulling back a bit after the downgrades or whatever BS news they wanted to throw in at the close of the market. I don't know. I think it's fine. Longer term, it's fine. Shorter term, we'll see a pullback. That's all. Yep. Nice. So you're telling me after a 30% recovery that it's down 1%? Okay. It could probably go down 10% and still be fine. Think about it. We just saw a 30-something% recovery in a month and change. Like that's a huge move for the NASDAQ. And like what? Almost a 23% recovery for the S&P. Again, huge recovery. So can't just expect up only, right? Let it go back to where it was. Yeah. Art of the deal. It could make wife changing money. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Oh, we got 10 people on the show still after 40 minutes. Wow, I guess I'm not boring you guys that much tonight. That's good. Yeah. Who else we got on here? We got Toe, we got Rash, we got Wildman, Henry Flores. What's up, dude? We want to hear bullish only. I mean, I think I gave a really bullish video earlier and someone just came in here and talked shit about it. So I don't know what else to do. No, one of these like old timers that came in here and was saying that we won't see a $6 trillion crypto market cap in my lifetime or some crazy stuff like that. Watch that, Shani. Yeah, no, he's definitely that in that realm of older. He's like 75 or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine, dude. I don't care. I just think it's funny. Let's pull up the altcoin season index chart real quick. We all know it's all just correlated to Bitcoin's dominance. So we are not in an altcoin season on the year. We're not in an altcoin season currently. Yeah, I think by midweek we do. If we don't by tomorrow, right? Yeah, this to me looks like the bottom for the alts. Okay, 2027. Okay, dude. Like it's just sitting down here at the range low on the index chart. So if you're not buying alts right now, I guess you're never going to be buying them. Just saying. I don't know. That's basically it. You guys want to look at some? Do you guys want to look at some Pulse Chain coins or something? Pulse Chain assets, I think, are actually performing pretty well. Atropa. I don't know, dude. It doesn't get volume. Yeah, I don't know. The marketing is good, right? Like everything else is, they're doing good stuff with that, you know, like, so I don't know. I'm just not getting bids. Like nobody's really interested in it, I guess. Yeah, dude, this is when they completely capitulated the Atropa ecosystem. They basically sent this thing to zero. Okay, and then the dude that market makes this whole ecosystem ripped like $10 million into it and just recovered the whole thing. So yes, this is extremely bullish stuff on this weekly chart and on the monthly chart for Atropa. All right. So yeah, I mean, I think that if we're going to see continuation on this thing, you know, why not back to the top of the channel somewhere around 70 something cents? Yeah, this is effing crazy chart. Yes, agreed. Pulse Chain Die up 8% again with the crazy wick, right? Boom, huge wick. That was the capitulation. This was a rising wedge that played out, and yeah, it went all the way to zero. Completed the whole wedge, the rising wedge structure. All right. So, but now, after you've completed that, you're in, it's not really a channel. It's more so like an ascending broadening formation. Okay. PUSDT is doing well, just like PDI is doing well. Yeah, they all look good. I would say that they all look good. They all move together with Atropa. Atropa is the oracle for the P stables on Pulse Chain. So yeah, I think they're good. They look great on weekly and high time frames right now. I'm not really too worried about double top right now. No. And the reason being is because your momentum here isn't really signaling that bearish divergence right now. Okay. The double top here also, I think what we end up doing is we make a higher high on price and we don't just double top. Yeah. I don't think we double top. Don't think we do that. Right? Because even if you look at your weekly time frame, and I have so much shit on this freaking, let me go to a different chart. Okay, here's Bitcoin on the weekly. So last cycle, this 2021 top, double top, okay, we had like 2 momentum waves here, if you can see, going into this double top, which to me is already significantly different than what we're doing now. All right. And we had this going on, and then we had this going on. We had bearish divergence here on the stochastic RSI, which currently we don't have that. One could argue that, if we start rolling over here and we lose momentum here, that we have bearish divergence. Yes, but that could just result in another pullback. We could just get another pullback before we actually break if we do something like that. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at like your 2-week chart, it's just crossing up. Like on this second top, dude, it wasn't just crossing up on the second top. Okay. We're just crossing up. We have a full a 2-week momentum wave here. So it's definitely a different structure than what we saw in 2021. All right. And I would say this too. If you look at your RSI, we don't really come into resistance or, bearish divergence until we actually get this push up into this trend line, which that's going to send us to new all-time highs. That push into the 80 level, which at that point in time could be it. That could be the top when we do that. This is a 2-week time frame. Okay. So we'll have to see how that materializes, but yeah, that could be. We could just get to like, I don't know. I think the next move we move to here is about 115 to 120K. And then I think I have fibs up to like 170 or something. That's the golden pocket. And if we somehow take out 170 on a high time frame with full momentum waves like that, then we're talking, like 200-300K. But let's get there, okay? We'll talk about that when we get there. Until then, let's just worry about taking out our all-time high, and we'll go from there. That's basically it. I mean, it's not really down. I mean, everything's down 2-3% right now. It's not down more than some of these other alts. ETH's down 2%. Sol's down 2.77%. I don't think that's out of the norm for what's going on right now for the rest of the market. I still think it's fine as long as it holds this channel. I think it's fine. Like, I mean, it was in this little 4-hour wedge that I was talking about the other day when I actually took this trade, and it tagged like what, 175, 176 or something, and now it's sandwiched between here. I think that this is actually okay. I think eventually this does resolve to 185 or 190 level or something, as long as Bitcoin isn't taking a shit or, like, you know, whatever. That should be okay. Yeah, I mean, your daily here is momentum is to the downside, if you guys can see that. So it could fail to break higher here. That wouldn't really be that alarming to me if it did do that. But right now, I would say it's okay. No, that 167 level is a big level for Sol. So it's currently above that. It can change pretty quickly. It's not a big move down, but yeah, I mean, if you start breaking this channel, then I'm looking at, like, you know, 150s, 155s, something like that. Like shorter time frame here. Monthly chart. Let's see. I mean, you have a very nice clear trend line here that goes all the way back from when this thing started. And yeah, you can see that this thing is like trying to leg up off this low here on the monthly chart. And yeah, the monthly momentum here is very nice, right? You're just crossing up on the monthly chart. Last monthly buy signal you got was in May or June of 2023. So you've got that full reset on Sol. And once you get those resets, you start making bearish divergence here in March of 24. So what, 8-9 months of a buy signal? I mean, you haven't confirmed the signal yet until you close above the 20 line, but you can see you're starting to shift this momentum here on the monthly time frame. So I would say that high time frames on Sol look pretty good. Not so much worried about the day-to-day on it. This looks like an ascending triangle. That's what it looks like. A massive ascending triangle. It's obviously not going to do this total measured move, but yeah, maybe like half the move probably on the measured move like that. Let's see what these fibs would be on a confirmed breakout for it. I mean, yeah, I don't know, $800-900 probably in that vicinity. 500 kind of the mid range there. 450 actually. So yeah, you just need to make monthly closures above, 242 and sit there. So you could go into price discovery after that. It takes some time. It takes some weeks here to do that. That's basically it. And we've been live for an hour. Appreciate everyone tuning in. And, well, hopefully you have a decent week here. We could see a bit of volatility with the stock market stuff going on right now, but I don't know. See how it plays out. We did get a weekly band deviation here. So hopefully this doesn't materialize into bearish divergence. That would suck. We'll see how this plays out, though. I think it'd be okay. We got some room on those higher time frames still. All right, folks, that's about it. I'll chat to you guys next week. I'm going to try to be putting out some more content here on the channel, so make sure you guys check that stuff out. Show your guys support. Appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Have a wonderful week.